Well, as Nigeria prepares for crucial presidential elections on February the 16th, one of the main topics on the campaign trail is the economy. Nigeria slipped into recession in 2016 following the collapse in the price of oil, the country's main revenue earner. It, however, came out of recession in late 2017, but recovery has been somewhat sluggish. Both the ruling APC and the main opposition PDP have blamed each other over the state of the economy, with each touting itself as the best party to address the challenge. Here's CGTN's Deji Badmus with more.
No food, no work.
Is the most talked about topic on the campaign trail. Virtually all the presidential candidates are weighing in heavily on the economy of Nigeria. And of course, there's a reason for that. Since exiting recession in late 2017, the country's growth has been a drag. Latest GDP figure is 1.81% for the third quarter of 2018. Unemployment rate is at 23.1%. And the Brookings Institute report estimates Nigeria is now home to the highest number of extremely poor people in the world. The incumbent government blames the previous ones before it for the situation and says it's on track to reversing it.
Nigeria earned 383 billion. Yet, poverty figures went from about 82 million to 112 million in 2012. And the numbers continued. That's the reason why we had a poverty problem. Unfortunately, with the resources we had, poverty was not addressed. In 3 years of our own government, 94 billion is what we made from oil revenues. Compare that to 383 billion. Now, what did we do from the point of view of the economy to alleviate poverty? We started the largest program for social investment in the history of this country.
The main opposition party has been hitting hard on the governing party, saying it lacked the needed competence to turn the economy around. Its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar says he has the blueprint to fast-track Nigeria's economic growth.
Our administration is going to be pro-business, pro-private sector, because government doesn't create jobs. Government actually provide the environment for the private sector to create jobs. We will support the private sector by undertaking reforms to unleash its growth potential and to play a key role in the economy.
Nigeria's economic needs are numerous. People want jobs, they want better infrastructure, they want better education and healthcare. But the challenge is how to generate the revenue to fund all the needs. The country has had to borrow heavily to fund its budget over the past 3 years. It will still borrow to fund part of this year's budget.
The question you need to ask is, what are you spending on? What we are spending on is infrastructure. So that in itself is meant to generate revenue, is meant to do well for the economy. So we're building the Lagos-Kano rail. Our counterpart funding we put on the table, our whole counterpart funding. We've done Alajawari, we completed Abuja, Kaduna, we completed the light rail within Abuja here. Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, we're doing it. Second Niger Bridge. These are borrowings that we took and we ensured that they were for infrastructure.
But Abubakar says rather than resort to borrowing, he would aim to generate funds through his liberalization policy.
The Atiku plan will undertake a deregulation of the downstream sector of the economy, review the PIB and privatize all of our state refineries that operate at 10% of their installed capacities. We shall channel the proceeds from the privatization into a special fund for the development of education and health.
Now, if you took a deeper look at the economic policies of both major political parties, there's essentially no fundamental difference in what both of them are offering. But analysts say one thing is certain: whoever emerges president will face the difficult task of dealing with the unemployment crisis in this country.
That will define whether the government will succeed or fail. If you are unable to create employment and reduce the number of unemployed people, then whatever policies you come up will be very cosmetic.
Whoever emerges president after February 16th will no doubt have their work cut out. Deji Badmus, CGTN, Lagos, Nigeria.